This is the birds were killed off by the government and replaced with drone spies, or birds aren't real conspiracy theory. Here you can see the cause and effects chart. In the causes section, there was always a lack of trust in the government. One of the causes, which is believed to be the starting point of the conspiracy, is John F. Kennedy's assassination. Along with that, bird truthers have examined a decline in bird populations, which led people to the conspiracy. Bird truthers also believe Americans have been set up to trust birds. And finally, a video of a comedian claiming the birds work for the bourgeoisie went viral, which sparked thought in many people. On to the effects section. After the conspiracy, more and more people began to distrust the government, particularly thinking that the government is watching over us. As with most conspiracy theories, there are many branches that have developed about the theory. Lastly, a secret CIA operation is believed to be uncovered, which is backed by an agent's testimony to it. It is important to look at what we know are facts and what are currently unknowns. For facts, we know through studies that bird populations, especially in the suburb and urban areas, have been on the decline since 1970. Next, it is a well-known fact that President John F. Kennedy was assassinated on November 22, 1963. And lastly, we do know that bird drones exist. It is important to note here that the bird drones we know exist are not being used by the government, at least not to the public's knowledge. And for conspiracy, going back to the bird population decline, we do not know for sure that the decline is caused by drones. However, part of the conspiracy is that this decline comes from the government not accounting for less mating among the birds. Bird truthers suspect an operation called Operation Water the Country. This is believed to be an operation in which the CIA used B-52 bombers to kill off large flocks of birds. And lastly, bird truthers believe that large entertainment corporations teamed with the government use subliminal messaging to get Americans to trust birds.
All of the birds died in 1986 due to Reagan killing them and replacing them with spies that are now watching us. The birds work for the bourgeoisie, don't.
The conspiracy has developed so much that the original viral video that sparked the Birds Aren't Real movement no longer fits the plot of the conspiracy. Now, bird truthers believe the bird drones were first introduced to President John F. Kennedy, which led to his assassination. Since then, Americans have developed a distrust for the government, but a lot of trust in an unlikely source: birds. As we saw in a video on the last slide, Kendrick Smith went viral with a video claiming that Ronald Reagan was responsible for killing off birds and replacing them with drone spies. After the video, people started to research the conspiracy, which is now developed to claim the CIA approached John F. Kennedy with the offer, and when he did not agree, they assassinated him. Bird truthers believe that Americans have been subliminally messaged through kids' entertainment to have trust in birds. This prevents any suspicion Americans might have about the subject, because we have trust in the focal point. A great example of this is the kids' movie Rio. Here is a short intro into the effects of the conspiracy. After the conspiracy, more people began to distrust the government. As a result, some became paranoid that the government is always watching us. Once the conspiracy gained more traction, Eugene Price came out with his first-hand account as a former CIA member during Operation Water the Country. On the left, you can see a graph that shows the public trust in government from 1958 to 2015. As you can see, the graph starts to decline around the conspiracy. After the conspiracy gained traction, people began to distrust the government and in turn fear that the government is using the drones to spy on their everyday life. The internet quickly took hold of the theory, which resulted in many branches of the theory. Some believe every bird was killed off and replaced, while others believe bird drones are only used in dire cases. A more specific branch of the theory is Operation Water the Country. Bird truthers recently developed the belief that the government used B-52 bombers to kill off birds flying in large flocks. Eugene Price, purportedly a CIA agent, came out and confirmed the operation and provided video proof. The reason the word proof is in quotations here is because some aspects of the video lead us to believe that it was filmed more recently.
For the last 5 years, the CIA has been discreetly designing and constructing prototypes for a new kind of security. A security that will truly protect our great nation from threats of communism. Here we see two CIA engineers working hard to complete the wiring of this prototype, a crow. A crow that will someday be able to mimic that of a real crow and go completely undetected.
A logical fallacy that applies to the birds aren't real conspiracy is post hoc. Post hoc is assuming that because B comes after A caused B. However, it is important to realize that correlation is not the same as causation. Bird truthers examine bird populations and attribute their population decline to spy drones. These events just happen to have the same timeline, but there is no proof to show that spy drones cause populations to decline.